Graduates, just remain standing for a moment. The pomp and circumstance music is because the second degree program really looks at this ceremony, which is very traditional in our nursing schools, more so as their graduation. They've gone through this already. We welcome them back in May for our commencement ceremony, but this is really not only the completion ceremony, the pinning, but more or less their graduation. So on behalf of my faculty, can my faculty please stand? And my staff, it takes an army, and without this army, we wouldn't have these graduates standing here. In particular, Kathy Sheehan, Lynn Tyson, and Kathy Tobin, who keep me focused. And they keep me sane on most days, but it gets a little crazy towards the end of the semester. Graduates, please sit. Of course, without the love and guidance and support of all of you in the audience, our graduates wouldn't be here as well. So I ask that you give yourselves a round of applause for all that you have done for them to be here. A few housekeeping rules, if you will. As you can see, we have Lee Manchester on the staff of our college who will be filming the entire ceremony that will be available to you within a few days. We have Megan, I saw Megan somewhere. Megan, hi Megan. We have Megan, who is also on the staff of Wagner College, professional photographer, who will be taking beautiful pictures, not only throughout the ceremony, but of every single student as they're being pinned. Those will be available for you on our website shortly after a few days after the ceremony. So I encourage you, as you're all trying to use your cell phones, and please turn them off if you don't mind, or the volume anyway. I encourage you to try to get some nice shots, but to stay as put as you can while the students are being pinned, because the pictures are absolutely beautiful. I'm sure you all have seen them over the years. As we do the ceremony, the family members will come up on the left-hand side, so I would encourage you to stay in line with the program, and as you see your graduate getting close, or perhaps she's the next or he the next name to be called, please come up on the left-hand side. We are encouraging you not to come earlier than that, because there's a line that'll form, and then the folks sitting on the left-hand side get to see nothing. And if you've ever been in the theater and you're excited about being somewhere and you don't see the show, it's very discouraging. So about 1 or 2 names, we will have folks helping you come up. You will be pinned in the center of the stage, and you will exit here. Good? All right. So we are experiencing extraordinary changes in healthcare in this century. I'm sure every single person in this room has experienced the changes. Changes that call upon, for us, the most creative, the most analytic, and the most innovative skills available in this unsettled time in the history of healthcare. We know that we must educate our nursing students beyond the normal curriculum, beyond the textbooks, beyond the exams, beyond the clinical curriculum. At Wagner, we are always asking ourselves, what can we do to best prepare you, not only for your profession, but your life after Wagner? We know that you need to be a productive part of the healthcare industry and of your community, not just another nurse. We pride ourselves on our graduates entering the healthcare industry and the community, and not just being another nurse. Today, the role of nurses goes far beyond this, far beyond Staten Island, far beyond New York City than ever before. The world is a global village. Problems that affect people in other countries also affect people in their own countries. Nurses and community healthcare providers need today more than ever to be knowledgeable about the needs of all people, as well as of their patients in this global society. Knowledge of the goals for worldwide health should be on your mind every single day, whether you're in a local hospital, out of state, or maybe even in another country practicing someday. You need to use the technology. You need to transfer the technology between all of these populations. Do all citizens of the world deserve access to good health and a sense of well-being? It is expected that the answer to this question will be yes, but such a goal can only be accomplished through international cooperations, which we're trying to work on more and more today, regardless of the national boundaries. The larger questions of inequalities in wealth and resources must be addressed. And as the new generation of providers, that's you. Look at all these new folks entering the industry. The new generation of providers are emerging. They may someday have the answers that have eluded the societies before them. Nurses are a major part of the solution of global health and the problems. And if conditions become more favorable and nations more supportive of their roles, different and more realistic solutions can be crafted. You folks are going to find those answers for us. All nurses and nursing students need to be enlightened about the world health issues so that this valuable profession that you're entering can be a part of the solution and the solution toward a more healthy world in the years to come. I am confident that we have prepared you to do just that. Congratulations and welcome to the profession of nursing. I'd like to invite Sister Kathleen Logan up to the stage for the invocation. Thank you, Sister.
Each of us stands at the gate of tomorrow, facing the future, and at times we have walked in wonder and awe, and at other times we have moved along with fear. Looking back now, you may recognize that amid the joys and struggles of your journey, you have been companioned by the grace-filled presence, by professors, mentors, leaders and companions that hold you, and to have held you together and to have led you on. Yours is not simply a journey through a string of days and years, rather yours is a journey surrounded by hopes and dreams, and today you walk here in courage and integrity for what you have accomplished. Your future awakens to excitement, an energy of hopes, visions, and the challenges of change. An adrenaline-like grace flows through you, and nothing ought to deter you from your goal. To risk your journey and face your future is simply to walk in faith. Therefore, in the presence of God, let us pray. We ask blessings on our nurses present here today and for the care of those who will come their way. May the spirit of compassion and gentleness guide your hands to bring comfort, provide care, and promote healing. May wisdom abound in faith where there is doubt, hopefulness where there is despair, joy where there is sadness, and to make compassion be shared with those who are weak, neglected, and disheartened. We are truly grateful for your response to this healing ministry, and we are honored by your achievements. I ask at this time to please all the nurses here to place your hands in front, palms up. Please receive my blessing of nurses' hands. I anoint your hands in the name of the one we call God. May these hands bring comfort and healing to those they touch. Blessed are your hands that will hear stories words cannot explain. And blessed is your touch, for your touch, a nurse's touch, is one that patients will always remember. Congratulations, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Sister Kathleen. A really exciting part of this ceremony are our student speakers. They are voted in amongst their classmates to speak on behalf of the history of the pin and also on behalf of their experiences here. Today I'd like to welcome first Janine Garcia, who will speak to you about Janine will be speaking to you on behalf of the history of the nursing pin. Janine?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dean Cooker. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I just want to take a quick second to really give my sincerest thanks on behalf of the entire class of 2019 to all of you, our families, our friends, our loved ones, faculty, administration. After all, you have all played such an integral role in our success, and you have undoubtedly helped us to get to this point today. They say it takes a village. We have the whole village here today, so thank you again. So now I'm happy to speak to you a little bit about the history of the nursing pin and why we have this special tradition that is unique to nursing. To be honest, before it was explained to me, before I started this program, I had no idea why nurses receive a pin or get pins. When I told people I had my pinning coming up, they were like, "You mean your graduation? What does that mean?" So the nursing pin has a long history dating back over 1,000 years ago to the 12th century Crusades. It was the medieval period, which was also a very violent period, with more than a century of war between the Muslims and the Christians. So a group of Christian monks came together and opened up the hospital of St. John the Baptist in Jerusalem to care for the wounded and sick warriors, and they would essentially nurse them back to health. All the monks who took part in this special care were given Maltese crosses from the knights to wear as a symbol of their service and devotion to the ill and suffering. The Maltese cross was large enough for all to see and became an identifier of these Christian warriors per se. Now let's take a quick jump from the Holy Land in the 12th century to Florence, Italy in the 19th century, where a baby girl by the name of Florence Nightingale, who we've all come to know so well, was born on May 12, 1820. She was the younger of two daughters of an affluent British family who belonged to elite social circles. Despite her family's interest in her social climbing, Florence found herself very awkward in these social situations. She disliked being the center of attention, and instead she preferred caring for and helping others. From a very young age, she was active in philanthropy and cared for the ill and poor people in the poor villages neighboring her family's lavish estate. By the time she was 16 years old, it was clear to her that nursing was absolutely her calling. When Florence approached her parents and told them her ambitions to become a nurse, they were not pleased, to say the least. They actually forbade her from pursuing nursing. A woman of her social status during this time was expected to marry a suitable man of means, not take up a job that was viewed as lowly and menial, and actually considered dirty during this time. So fast forward to the early 1850s, when Florence took a nursing job in London after she put herself through nursing school in Germany, and also after declining proposals from suitable men, much to the dismay of her family. I guess you can say the timing of the start of her nursing career was pretty perfect, because around this time the Crimean War was underway, and they had realized that the system of care that had sufficed centuries before in the Holy Land was no longer doing the job. It seemed that more warriors were being lost to infections than to the actual line of battle. Conditions in hospitals were less than acceptable, uncleanly, and inhumane, and there was a lack of qualified nurses with an abundance of sick people to care for. So Florence was the first person to realize that these hard conditions, contaminated water, rodents, bugs, the lack of the most basic supplies that we all really take for granted, bandages, hand soap, they all contributed to the steady increase of the sick. So Florence spent every waking minute caring for the soldiers. In the evenings, she moved through the dark hallways holding a lamp while making her rounds. Her tireless work reduced the hospital's death rate by 2/3. The soldiers, who were both comforted and moved by her endless compassion, began calling her the lady with the lamp. In addition to vastly improving hospital sanitary conditions, Florence also created a number of patient services that contributed to improving the quality of patients' hospital stays, like instituting hand hygiene, clean linens, clean water, libraries in hospitals for patients during their stays, special foods for certain dietary restrictions, and many more which we still use today. After the Crimean War in 1860, Florence funded the establishment of St. Thomas's Hospital and within it the Nightingale Training School for Nurses. In founding this institution, Florence Nightingale became a figure of public admiration, and nursing was finally seen as the esteemed, honorable profession it is today. For her influential work in helping others, Florence was awarded the Red Cross of St. George, similar to the Maltese Cross that had been awarded during the Crusades. Florence then decided to pass along this tradition in awarding the top students in her classes with medals of excellence embossed with that same Red Cross symbol. In 1880, Bellevue Hospital adopted the same practice by presenting pins to the graduates of their nursing school. And then by 1916, all nursing schools throughout the United States began presenting pins to all their graduates. By that time, these pins contained their own unique colors and symbols to represent the individual institutions that students attended. Today is the day that we have the honor of taking part in this tradition. We, the class of 2019, could not be more honored and excited to receive our pins from those closest to us, who have dealt with us and supported us unconditionally throughout these past 15 months. From this day forward, we will be wearing these pins, which not only represent Wagner College School of Nursing or Florence Nightingale, but also Evelyn L. Spiro, who dedicated her life to supporting our profession and this institution, as well as her family and friends who continue to keep her spirit alive through their generosity and support. I know I speak on behalf of the entire class of 2019 when I say that we will wear our pins proudly and with honor, and we will always remember all that they represent. Thank you.
Thank you, Janine, that was beautiful. I'd like to introduce now the speaker of the class to give you a little background on what this last journey was all about, Ben Torres.
All right. Good morning, friends, family, faculty, and honored guests, and welcome to Wagner College's Fall 2019 pinning ceremony. Before I begin, I would first like to thank my cohort again and faculty for allowing me to represent my classmates and soon-to-be fellow nurses on one of the most momentous days of our lives so far. It has been an honor to be your president in our Student Nurse Association, and it is truly a blessing to be able to recount your accomplishments during these past 15 months in front of your friends and families. Before you on the stage sit 75 incredibly intelligent individuals with volumes of nursing knowledge at their disposal. 75 fonts of fortitude that have what it takes to step into healthcare and give of themselves to complete strangers. But most importantly, you have 75 extraordinary and individually unique people that enrich the lives of those around them. For many of the friends and families of those sitting next to me on this stage today, these past 15 months may have been the least you have seen your loved ones over an extended period of time, while they were fervently studying away in some corner of the house, or even possibly completing a night shift this fall, while trying not to be complete zombies in class. For those of you who have experienced this since last year, and for those of you who just want to really know what we actually have been doing here all this time, I would like to give you a complete picture of just what this journey has been like for us these past 15 months. So, it all started on Monday, August 27th, 2018. We were all thrust into a lecture hall with every other newly admitted student without an ounce of nursing knowledge. It was at that point when our professors kindly told us that they would mold us into the nurses that they knew we were each capable of becoming. And they also told us that our first test on nursing fundamentals was next week. What followed was an anxiety and adrenaline-ridden week where we began to use the library or our bedrooms as our own personal sanctuaries to try and memorize completely foreign acronyms and mnemonics across 10 whole chapters, all while trying to keep up with what was due next week for the 3 other classes we had. It got to the point where we were actually using our library's study rooms too much, and the library had to tell us to calm down. It was crazy. But all of our efforts paid off in the end, as we all passed fundamentals, the first of many challenges that we would face at Wagner. During the semester, we also refreshed our math in MedDose, where we learned how to properly calculate and administer medications for the patients we would soon be taking care of. We learned whether or not that mystery bump on your arm was cancer or it was literally just the same birthmark you've had since forever in a nursing assessment. We memorized over 250 medications, what side effects they have, when you should take it. If you can have a little grapefruit juice, will turn your urine orange. Get the idea. We learned all of that in nursing pharmacology. And of course, none of us will forget our first patients here on the island at Edgar Nursing Home, where we all performed that one thing we were all so afraid of, a bed bath. The most important thing we gained this semester, however, were the bonds of our friendships that we forged as we navigated our way through the first semester together. Between countless FaceTime calls the night before an exam, the daily, did you guys start studying? Text, to the many, many times some of us would take 2 study rooms in the library just to try and figure out what was going on in some of our classes. What emerged were friendships that still remain to this day and will persist as we progress to this next exciting chapter of our lives. Once we got that whole mess out of the way, we finally had a few weeks to spend some hard-earned time with our families for the holidays and for the new year. Then we were back at it again on Monday, January 14th. By this point, thankfully, we began to fall into our set routines. The last semester had hardened us, and we were able to get through our classes with less time in the library and just a little bit less anxiety. It was during this semester that some of us got to see the miracle of birth in OB nursing, and we learned just how difficult caring for a sick child really was in pediatric nursing. So thank you, moms. We finally understood what you went through. It was also in this semester that we got into the meat and potatoes of nursing, that is med-surg nursing. During this time, we got to experience and assist in so many different plans of care for the patients in our hospitals, such as those on ventilators, receiving dialysis, receiving cardiac monitoring, receiving antibiotics for infections in their blood. The list goes on. While we were all anxious about failing one med-surg test in particular, we again made it through the semester with our heads held high, but with bags under our eyes. We didn't have a chance to stop and catch our breath, though, as the summer semester started right after the spring. Instead of relaxing in the backyard and planning out our vacations for June and July, we instead spent our time at school, still learning about nursing. In nursing research, we each put hours of time at the library and on the internet to gather information on our research topics, to create research papers between 10 to even 20 pages long within just a span of 3 weeks. We then went on to learn about med-surg nursing and how to care for those that had received hip and knee replacements, those that had leg fractures that had to be put in traction devices, gastrointestinal disorders such as Crohn's disease, and even neurological disorders such as multiple sclerosis and Lou Gehrig's disease. From there, we went on to psych nursing, where we learned how to care for those suffering from mental disorders and diseases, which was, as most of you probably guessed or heard from us personally, was quite an experience. But it was a rewarding and enlightening experience that helped us to become a more complete nurse. And then finally, after having a few weeks to ourselves with our families again in the beginning of August, we came back to Wagner one last time at the end of August to finish our last semester. In these last 3 months, we have learned how to be nursing leaders in the workforce, and nursing leadership and management, how to take care of ourselves in holistic nursing, and how to care for those in our communities in community nursing. On top of each of these classes is also our capstone class, where we have been putting everything I just talked about back together as we prepare to take that one exam that will grant us our license. Along with this, we've also been spending one-on-one time with our nurse preceptors, who have been taking us through an entire day's shift to prepare us for what's to come. We've been working in emergency rooms, trauma bays, oncology units, med-surg floors, neuro units, and even cardiac ICUs. And now, finally, we get to sit up here on this stage and look back at just how much we've accomplished. To the friends and family here today, each of us thank you from the bottom, or should I say the apex, of our hearts, for loving and supporting us all the way through this crazy, crazy ride that we call nursing school. All right. To the faculty, thank you for believing in us before we even entered the program, when you were reading our admission essays and interviewing us. The road to this accomplishment could not have been paved without the help from each and every one of you. While we may have butted heads on questions of a test that we were particularly anxious about, know that it was done out of a spirit of inquiry and to make sure that the material as we understood it was being viewed correctly from our perspective. Take comfort in the fact that you've raised 75 nurses who will be joining the workforce soon, and we'll hold on to that feeling to be advocates for our patients to receive the best possible care and to always be lifelong learners in nursing, as our healthcare system and patient populations grow bigger and more complicated by the second. We'll look back fondly on these memories you've helped us create here at our time at Wagner. None of this, from our nursing knowledge to the friendships we've made, could have been possible without each of you helping to push us forward each step of the way, all while telling us to trust the process. None of you will soon be forgotten in our minds or our hearts. And finally, to my classmates, words can't describe my anticipation to hear about all of you passing your NCLEX. Words can't describe my anticipation to hear all about you passing your NCLEX, getting your license, and getting ready to work in the field you always wanted to be in. It has been a long time coming, but we're all about to be able to practice as registered nurses and be compensated accordingly for the work that we provide for the people in our communities. While I'm able to try and tell everyone else here today how amazing your accomplishments these past 15 months were, I can never perfectly describe just how difficult this journey was for each of you individually. We all know the saying, when it rains, it pours. And for whatever reason, being in nursing school seems to just make that a fact of life. These past 15 months have pushed all of us to our limit academically as we maintained our grades to get to this point today. Mentally, as we found the will to carry on to the next day of the week and the next challenge of the semester. Socially, as we maintained our relationships with our loved ones, and even physically, as we would work through any sickness to meet each week's demands. Despite these challenges, you now sit among peers who have started their own businesses, achieved incredible academic heights, and started new journeys with their loved ones, which deserves its own praise. Some of you are even mothers who have balanced their schoolwork along with their family life for the entire 15 months, which deserves even higher praise. Most importantly, however, you each persevered and made it to this stage today, in wake of everything these past 15 months has thrown at you. That alone deserves the highest praise that you each owe to yourselves, as only you know just how hard this was for yourself. Let this day stand as a monument to your accomplishments. Take the time to gaze upon it and bask in what it stands for yourself. Then look beyond it to the horizon, where you will each construct even larger accomplishments that will soon make today pale in comparison. Your being here on this stage today is proof that the horizon is fathomless, and you are each more than capable of creating the most ambitious futures for yourselves and your families. Congratulations, my friends, and thank you.
That was beautiful, Ben. Thank you so much. Wow. I knew it would be typical Ben fashion, but this was a little atypical. This was beautiful. Okay, so now for the most important aspect of the ceremony, the pinnings. I'd like to introduce Dr. Alexandra Zagorin to come up on the stage. And she will be introducing the graduates. Ben, that was quite a task. You brought some really hardcore nursing folks to tears. You know? There's a lot of years of experience here, and we pride ourselves on not crying.
Wow. So, but you know, I'm never nervous. But Ben, you did your job. First of all, I want to say that you're an extraordinary group, and I don't just say it. There are certain groups of students who leave from here and leave a great mark behind, and I will truly personally miss you all. You truly are amazing, and I'm going to say a few words that are more formal, but when I first saw you guys in the classroom, I always say, it has to come from your heart. It's not always here, right? But it's definitely always here. And I know that every single one of you has it here. And Ben, as a representative of this wonderful group, really proved that. So good morning, everyone. I am so proud of this group. I truly am. They are extraordinary in so many ways. And it's an honor to present this group to you this morning. It is an extraordinary day for every single person in this room, for parents, for spouses, for children, for grandparents, for aunts and uncles and relatives and significant others. Each of you in this class has achieved a very important milestone in your educational journey, and it's celebrated today with the spinning ceremony. The degree that you're getting today isn't just any college degree. It's an amazing career choice which requires dedication and passion, empathy and understanding, advocacy and ethics, integrity and leadership, continuous learning, and absolutely education of others. But your hard work is not over. As you start your first job, you will expect it to work long hours and challenging hours. Skip your lunch breaks. Forget about your bathroom needs. Miss family holidays. And care for those people who are truly in critical conditions. However, every single day of your lives, you will be enriched and rewarded by your experiences. The patients and families who you will be taking care of will always remember your thoughtful gestures and your healing presence and your true heartfelt comments. You will find that you live with more purpose because of your appreciation of how fragile life can be and how some people are less fortunate than others. You are now agents of change in healthcare, in ever-changing healthcare arena. Speak out and fight for those who cannot speak and fight for themselves. Inspire others and continue to give. It is with great enthusiasm today that we no longer call you our students, but we are now calling you our colleagues. So my congratulations to you all and best wishes to every single one of you in both your personal and professional lives. And now, without further ado, it is my honor and a true pleasure to present to you all the class of 2019. Adara Abrahamsen. Ambrose. Being trained by her mother. By her best friend, I'm so sorry. Kathleen Ambrosio. Being trained by her son. Elisabeth Berman, being trained by her mother. Lindsay Boccia, being pinned by her mom and dad. Brancale, being pinned by her sister, who is a Wagner alum and a nurse. Jacqueline Burzo, being pinned by her mother and father. Tori Casale, being pinned by her mom, who is also a nurse. Silvina Chandraboase, being pinned by her mom and dad. Conrad, being pinned by her mom and dad. Xiomara Contreras, being pinned by her mom and boyfriend. Being pinned by her mom. Being pinned by her best friend, who is also a nurse. James D. Caesar, being Rosa, being pinned by her mother. Fabernia Eline, being pinned by her significant other. Sarah Flores, being pinned by her mother and sister. Gina Fontarosa, being pinned by her son and her brother, who is also a student here at Wagner. Janine Garcia, being pinned by her husband. Mimosa Gashi, being pinned by her father and nephew. Victoria Gennari, being pinned by her grandfather. Christine Gong, being pinned by her sister. Rihanna Gugliata is being pinned by her dad. Roshani Guaverdina is being pinned by her sister. Alejandra Hernandez is being pinned by her mother. Elisabeth Higgins is being pinned by her mother, who's also a nurse. Diana Halswanger is being pinned by her mother. Dalia Jimenez Lenes is being pinned by her father and her son. Alicia Huerta is being pinned by her mother and her dad. Jamil Jefferson, pinned by his mother and significant other. Jessica John is being pinned by her father. Anna Katznelson is being pinned by her husband and her kids, Olivia Nazreen Khan is being pinned by her daughters. Fikiri Klobusista is being pinned by her husband. brother. Gabrielle Langella is being pinned by her mom and her fiance. Her fiance is an alum and a nurse. Brendan Lee is being pinned by his wife. Mary Lacombo is being pinned by her mother-in-law, who is also a nurse. Alexis Manning is being pinned by her dad. Danielle Martinez is being pinned by her mom and dad. Leilani Valenciano is being pinned by her mom. Bekim Mersimovsky is being pinned by his mom, who is also a nurse. Christina Maisienko is being pinned by her mom and her daughter. Shannon Mooney is being pinned by her mom, who is also a nurse. Thomas is being pinned by his mom. Is being pinned by her sister, who is a nurse practitioner. Dorothy O'Neill is being pinned by her mom and dad. Her mom is in the lawn for Wagner, and she's also a nurse. Vincenza Contorno is being pinned by her mother. Victoria Piggott is being pinned by her mother, who is also a nurse. Christina Politis is being pinned by her mother. Joy Pollack is being pinned by her Danielle Ponzina is being pinned by her father. Michael Riley is being pinned by his dad and his girlfriend. And Michael's girlfriend is a registered nurse. Is being pinned by her father. Rachel Rosano is being pinned by her mom and dad. Alexandra Samadi is being pinned by her mother.
Thank you very much.
Jessica Siklet is being pinned by her mother. Olivia Siller is being pinned by her mom and her aunt. Both her mother and her aunt are nurses. Crystal Skirvin is being pinned by her mom and a family friend. Richard Spagnola is being pinned by his two nieces. For future nurses. Abigail Sparber is being pinned by her father. Genevieve Spinner is being pinned by her father. Gabrielle Sullivan is being pinned by her mom and dad. Jennifer Taranova is being pinned by her mother.
Thank you very much.
Christina Thompson is being pinned by her brother. Benjamin Torres is being pinned by his mom and dad. Zamari is being pinned by her sister, who is also a nurse. Jadelle Verghese is being pinned by her mom and dad. Her mom is a nurse. last but definitely not least, at the top is Benjamin Torres. Dear all, I proudly present to you the class of December of 2019.
Tillman Award.
I'd like to invite Dr. Dallin Castronova up to the stage, along with Nancy Tillman, for the presentation of the R.J. Tillman Award.
It is this part of our annual December pinning that we pay tribute to this very special award. Our graduates definitely know the history. Their guests may not, so allow me a little bit of time. For those of you who traveled via Clove Road and traveled up Howard, you may have noticed what's known as a ghost bike to your right. That ghost bike stands in memory of a second-degree student, R.J. Tillman, who had been studying in the library in February of 2012 for his med-surg exam. Like many of you, he was hunkered down studying. He left via bike to travel home and was tragically hit and killed. So that bike serves in memory of R.J. And since that time, our Wagner community, in response, has in many ways tried to make the streets safer around here and in the larger New York City area. Most recently, this was done with a community project in the springtime where students and faculty partnered with Transportation Alternatives and did a street study of two other intersections, one near Highland Boulevard and one near Richmond Avenue. And they did this work, like they do most of their work, empowered by wanting to give good care and make the world a healthier place. But they definitely did it with a special intention, because R.J. Tillman is part of us. Also since that time, his mother, Mrs. Nancy Tillman, had endowed this fund to award someone in each December class in R.J.'s memory. And so without further ado, I turn the podium over to Nancy Tillman.
Good morning. I'm so excited to be here again. This is my 8th pinning ceremony. And because my son loved Wagner so much in the nursing program when he died, we did the In Lieu of Flowers, please donate to this fund. And thanks to very generous family, friends, and the faculty here, we created this endowment fund, and every year we can give it out. And my association with the Wagner, I love it too, has been so positive. The former president, President Gawarski, was one of the very first phone calls I received the morning after R.J. died. And I don't think that too many presidents of too many colleges take the time to do that. It was very touching. Dr. Tuger, the day of the funeral, she and the chaplain at the time drove all the way up to Syracuse and attended the funeral. And that was very touching too. Laura Barlament, who's the editor of the Wagner magazine, she's not here right now, she was. She has done all kinds of work with transportation alternatives, and she's a biker herself, and she was spurred on to do her work because of RJ's death. And Anne Marie, she's been very instrumental in a lot of projects with the students. They've done sweatshirt sales. They have a bike rack down by the library, and what she just said, her community project. And she's become a really good friend too. She's been to Syracuse a couple of times with her kids. We've had lunch and dinner, and it's been very nice. And all the faculty and staff, every time I come, all so welcoming. I really feel at home here. Okay, now to the award. First of all, I was given a bio, like I could have done pages, so I just tried to pick out a few of the best things. This year's recipient is such a worthy candidate, chosen by the faculty. This person received a bachelor's degree in biology, and then after completing 400 hours of volunteering at 2 hospitals, decided on a career in nursing. Instructors described this person as dedicated, kind, and caring. The ICU team said that this compassionate team player has always put patients' needs first. And the faculty describes this person as the one that shines. In the spare time, this person enjoys spending time with family. Mother Arlene, brother Christopher, nieces Diana and Christine. I'm very proud to present this year's award to Richard Spagnola.
Thank you so much, Anne-Marie, Nancy, and congratulations, Rich. So well deserved. At this time, I have Dr. Denise Gasselberty that will lead the class with the Nightingale Pledge. I would ask everybody to turn on their light, twist at the bottom. And please stand. I solemnly pledge myself before God and in the presence of this assembly to practice my profession faithfully. I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standards of my profession, and will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping and all family matters coming to my knowledge within my practice. With integrity, I will endeavor to devote myself to the welfare of those committed to my care. Thank you, Dr. Gasselberty. This is the conclusion of the ceremony with the Florence Nightingale Pledge. I again congratulate all of you. As alum, please keep in touch. We have a wonderful Nurses' Night Out that comes up in May. Your Wagner email accounts will stay live for quite a while. please, please, please let us know how you do on NCLEX, where you'll be working, and forever be a Wagner alum with us. For the families, loved ones, go out, enjoy, celebrate, and congratulate this wonderful group of new professionals.